All right, should be live. Just taking a quick check, waiting for score and rocking and rolling. Just make sure I can hear myself. Thank you very much for the kind emoticons. Internet stress. I appreciate it. We got an hour, at least an hour. We got 45 minutes up until the start of the cool. Okay, yeah, mic's working. MLB show with Sheets and Bobby's live at the top of the hour. We're talking Xfinity at Bristol for the next 45 minutes. Let me go ahead and share my stuff here. Gonna do an entire screen. Here we are. All right, so this seems like a pretty fun race. Now, we typically don't see like an absolute ton of chaos in the Xfinity series. Pretty standard in terms of people finish on the lead lap. Standard of like, 4 to like 5 DNFs. But like I don't think we're gonna see anything too crazy. Today when we're looking at starting grid here. Now, I did not see the Truck Series race. I haven't watched it yet. I don't even know what happened in the NFL game, man. I was with my girlfriend last night, and all I know is I'm assuming Rhodes ran into issues. I'm assuming Connor ran into issues. So that was just a disaster across the board. Pure donation there. Thank God. I guess Stevenson got injured. Don't you just love it when you fade a guy and he gets injured? I mean, that's what we live for, man. That's so thank God for shitty Thursday night football games and a 5-1 jet stack. But when we're looking at this race here, this is where I'm at. Now, yet again, maybe I'm a bit aggressive. Some people like this, some people don't. I have no desire, no interest but for the person starting third, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. I just can't see it, don't see it. Chandler Smith, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, I think are your favorites to lead laps. Now, when we look at Xfinity Series, we do see multiple lap leaders in these races. So this is a case to where I am not opposed to playing two of these three guys together. And let's take a step back really fast, okay? Last year, if you played Junior, you played it correctly. I mean, absolutely killing the field, caught his little toe on fire, his little sock, his little shoe caught on fire, had to escape and completely saved everybody else who did not have Junior because he was going to run away with the field. When we look at this series and Bristol in particular, if you have any ability, any experience, you are like head and shoulders above the field. Okay, so like Junior today at 88 is it seems like a pretty good play. Seems like one of the few guys that I can very easily see hitting value, finishing top 5, like right off the bat. Same thing with Creed, Riley Herbst, Truex, Austin Hill. These, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 individual drivers here, I think, are a main cornerstone of a lot of lineups today. And the fact that these guys, yet again, we're back at like a traditional Xfinity Series race because we're having to pay up for potential lap leaders. I personally like Cole Custer the most today, but I think all three of these guys lead laps. I don't think they have the potential. I think all three of these guys leads laps. It's just going to come down to who actually leads more. I think Junior finishes top 5. I think Creed finishes top 7. Herbst is probably the least interesting of these fellows here, but the fact that he can very easily hit value at 82, I mean, who cares exactly what we have him for? Like, I have Herbst like 8th, 9th today. I think he hits value pretty easily. Austin Hill starting 17th. Real chance he can finish 8th, 7th. That's not out of the question. We know how good Austin Hill is across the board on these races. And I'm on board of taking 2 lap leaders and trying to get as many of these guys in as possible, or 1 lap leader and just filling in as many of these guys as possible. Now, because we're paying up so much, that means we're punting. Okay, I really, really don't have a ton of interest in paying up for Sam Mayer starting 20th. I'd much rather take the $700 discount on Austin Hill, the $1,000 discount on Truex, the $1,800 discount on Riley Herbst. I'm not going to be playing Sam Mayer today. I just think he's too expensive. Those lineups they lead me down too many funds, too many values. If I'm paying 10K for somebody, I really want it to be lap leaders. I really don't want it to be Sam Mayer. Okay. Secondly, we got a real chance of this race going green. we haven't seen a ton of chaos in the last 3 Xfinity Series races. Now, they've all ended with like short runs at the end, but still, I think there's a good chance we see a lot of good cars get lapped. Williams, SVG, Poole, Jeb Burton, Ryan Ellis, Retzloff, Matt Benedetto. Real chance these leaders are like just burning through the field, okay? So I am really hesitant on paying up for place differential in really any form or fashion. If I'm playing anybody in the back half of the field, it is for the potential, or it is for what they offer in value. So when I'm looking at like my, exposure between like my top lineups right now, I'm looking at quite a lot of Leland Honeyman at where we at, Burley Boy, 5,400. I'm looking at quite a lot of. All right, let me move this over here. I mean, Kyle Sieg is 62. I'd prefer to get to him if possible. But Blaine Perkins, Leland, and even Greg. I mean, Greg is possibly the worst driver in the field. Has this man ever, since he won Daytona in ARCA, let's be real here, has this man ever finished a race? Now, unlike Joe Graff Jr., who runs in issues, and unlike Chris Wright, who just flat out takes people out for shits and giggles, Greg just consistently wrecks himself and only him. Him starting dead last at 53, I think that's a pretty good cornerstone of this. Now, you're taking quite a bit of risk if you go to like Carson Ware in the the 35 machine starting 30. I really don't want to do that. I'd rather just take the guy starting last. I think we get like 6 or 7 DNFs. And if we're paying up for so many people, I think Greg makes a lot of sense. I think Leland makes a lot of sense. I think pairing those two together make a lot of sense. But I am not going to be really targeting much of the guys in the 20s. I just really can't afford to do it if I'm paying for so many guys in the 8K range and 9K range in the teens and chasing potential lap leaders. Okay. So that's where I'm at there. So if you're like, what do you think of AJ Allmendinger? I ain't playing AJ today. That's where I'm going. I think we do see probably the main lap leader lead anywhere from 90 to 115 laps. Secondary would probably be like 65 to 80. Third would, real chance we see somebody push 40 laps led. For the most part, at a track like this, we're looking at a much closer 1-to-1 as long as the leader isn't in traffic between laps led and fast laps. So, you can look at a roughly, I'd give it maybe like a 33 percent of the laps led equal a fast lap, which is typically more than what we see right now. We're seeing like 18 to like 22%. I made my driver white. I don't like that, dude. Anyway, that's where I'm at. We have, I'll look at the chat in a second. I'm wanting to check and see how long we have, because I know they're queuing right now. $4 is filled. $10 is 300 away from filling, and $1 is about 300 away from filling. I would assume, looking at this, we might be lucky enough to get another $4. Let me go with him and take a quick gander at the we do, and it is 891 people. 20 max for 800. That's fucking crazy. That's a hell of a contest. So part of me is I don't think we're going to see another 10. If we do, it's probably going to be pretty terrible. But if you're already in the 4, you can still see the $4 contest, I would implore you to play the secondary $4. I think that's probably the easiest way to get quite a lot of money down for this race at a pretty reasonable expense to where you're not spending a lot of money. Let's go ahead and take a gander really fast here. I remember fading him and regretting it and not regretting it. Oh yeah, I love Showdown football, man. It's and going back to me playing single entry, that's just where I fall in line, man. I'm way better at playing in the 15s, the 40, the $50. Like those are the showdowns that I really like a lot. Joe Graff Jr. at 74. Oh yeah, we haven't even looked at practice speeds. Sorry about that. Because I want to get through all that. So this is where everybody is now. Yeah, sure, different groups, whatever. Don't really care. At least the Cup Series, we just had one group together. Which shout out to NASCAR for the reason the first Bristol race was so interesting was by pure accident. Okay. We try the option tire at Richmond, complete failure. Okay, does nothing really. Okay, you might like, but Daniel Suarez and Mike Mandel drove through the field. Yeah, they were the only two idiots on the red tire. Everybody uses it at the end, nothing happens. We go to Watkins Glen. Oh my God, there's gonna be tire wear like crazy. Those motherfucking tires lasted like 42 laps on the one car SVG. I mean, it like any time we are being advertised tire wear, I would almost implore you to not even think about that. Yet again, if everybody has tire wear, and especially in a situation where they can practice for an hour, nobody has tire wear. Okay. Oh man, we went. I don't even know what the running lap times in the cup right now, but like you can argue, or you could say something like, "Oh man, the tire is softer. We're running like we were running like 17 ones on the old tire, and now this one we're running like 16 sixes or whatever." And then it falls off to a 17. Okay, well, like the fall off is still even across the board. Okay, like fall off from 17 seconds, to a 17.5 is still the same as like a 16.5 to a 17. Like we are, it doesn't change anything. Okay, that's why I implore you to not even worry about these stupid ass tires. Okay, shout out to NASCAR for being like, yeah, no option tire in Martinsville. They've already like thrown that away. So like whatever. I'm not concerned about tire wear tomorrow. I just wanted to say that as we look at the places to where these guys are at here on the Xfinity Series race. Now, Chandler Smith, Cole Custer, Allgaier, ideally you would want to see your guys run as far as possible, which thank God, thank the Lord above, the fastest guys ran the longest. So we can very easily see where everybody's at. Smith, Cole Custer, Allgaier, Jr., Creed, Truex, Hill. Yet again, your top 6 guys here. And the reason why I typically use 15 is just because it's visually easier. Because, like, oh man, we only have like 3 guys around top 20. We can just see where these guys are at here. So I'm not just ranking this by 15. That just shows the easiest way to compare all the leaders. Because otherwise, you go here, and you're like, oh my God, where did so and so go? Oh man, like where did Cole Custer go? Whoa man, I'm blind. I can't see anything. So like we got the fastest guys running fast laps. We understand that they offer place differential. We understand that like this is going to be a really tight scoring slate outside of the lap leaders. Even Kligerman, Ryan Sieg. Let's talk about the guys who can probably score 40 because I got like Ryan Sieg at like 36 points. I got Jesse Levitt at like 36. But for the most part, like Kligerman Jr., Creed, Riley Herbst, Truex, and Austin Hill are probably all going to score within 9 points of each other. Okay. So when we look at that, and they're all really from like a 4.8 to a 5.2 value. Okay. So when we're looking at that, I typically start defaulting to the prices, as I said, like Riley Herbst and Junior seem to be the better plays here. You can argue Kligerman as well. You can also add it to where do these people typically finish. That would lean more in the line of Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed. But I think for the most part, you want to try and get as many of these guys in your lineups as possible. Not really Ryan Sieg. I got him at 4.8 value, like whatever. But I'm Kligerman Jr. Creed. Like I want to have as many of these guys as possible. And now that's implying we have 2 of these guys up here who lead a high amount of laps. Now these laps go by quick, obviously, and stuff. But you look at this race being 300 laps, and you might be like, all right, we'll just give Chandler Smith 66 laps led and 34 fast laps. Not too crazy, we're just past like whatever percentage of the race that would be. Giving this guy fast laps led, and he finishes in the top like 4 or 5. I mean, you're looking at Chandler Smith scoring anywhere from like 64 to like 76 points today. So same thing with Custer, same thing with Allgaier. Okay, so the 2 forks in the road of how this race plays out is how many of Chandler Smith, Custer, and Allgaier lead in this race. I would not fault you for doing one of these lap leaders and then as many of these guys between 11 and 17 as possible outside of Sieg, or chasing Chandler Smith and Cole Custer and then just defaulting to probably taking the cheaper 8K guys here. And then like no point, like that's how I am probably going to go about it. I don't really see a reason to chase, as I said, I don't see a reason to chase Sam Mayer. I don't see a reason to chase Joe Graff Jr. Like where's Joe Graff even at on these? We look at Joe. I mean, and also like this gives a pretty good baseline of just where people are in terms of speed. Like we're seeing, 2/10 is fucking huge here, man. That's like 3 car lengths. Okay. 3 car lengths a lap slower than other people. Like that adds up really fast. You have one bad lap, you get loose, you guys already know this, but your car gets upset, you lose, you have a bad lap, you're like a second and a half slower than what your normal pace is. Not only are you giving up positions, but the leader is going to run you down. So that's really how I'm looking to approach this race here. Let's go ahead and see what else you guys are saying. Also, secondly, thank you for joining me on this Friday evening before the MLB. Sammy Smith. Oh boy, I have Sammy Smith for 39.7 laps or 39.7 points. I am concerned about Sammy Smith running, not even running into issues. I don't know if Sammy Smith has a good race. What is a good race, you might ask? What am I basing this off of? When I look at what I have Sammy Smith around, I don't think Sammy Smith finishes top 10 today. You know, I'm looking at him finishing anywhere from like 11th to 13th. That's a pretty decent day. You know, he's right at 12 here. Okay, he goes up or down, you know, depending on like who's around him and stuff. But like we also have Riley Herbst in this range. You know, AJ Allmendinger is gonna, you know, at least try and compete to stay up there. I just think Sammy Smith finishes like 12th, 13th today. And in those situations, I'm just not going to be on him. I'd much rather Chase Jr., who I think can get a top 5. Realistically, I hate it when I listen to shows and they're like, well, when Jesus sneezes or something, Jeffrey Earnhardt might get a top 5. You might want to bet him. I hate it when I hear that in shows. I mean it like I think Junior finishes like 5th today, like straight up. 5th, 6th, 7th would not shock me. That's where I think Junior falls. And I want to prioritize the guys who are in the teams that I think can finish in the top 7 versus like Sammy Smith, who we'll take a quick look at like Sammy Smith. I typically don't like using past races at short tracks nearly as much. But we could look at where Sammy Smith has finished this year, and maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm full of stuff. Maybe I'm biased. Let's take a quick gander at what Sammy Smith's been able to do. We'll just find him on like Daytona, right? And let's go. Let's load. Where you at, Sammy? All right, look at the 8 cars. Sammy Smith. All right, so we're looking at Phoenix. Finishes 9th. Close to value. 9th at Richmond. 7th at Martinsville. 4th at Iowa. Way better than what I was anticipating. So, like, based on this, I'm wrong. I am just not going to be on Sammy Smith. That's just the feel I have. Based on, all the stuff here, just looking at, like, raw finishes and stuff, I'm completely wrong, and Sammy Smith is probably the best play on the slate. Or one of the best value plays on the slate. So, telling you where I'm at. I'm not going to be playing him. But based on his finishes at the other short tracks, even Loudon, his worst is like 12th. And that's pretty decent for Sammy Smith. So that's where I'm at. Probably going to be against the field there, but that's where I'm at. I think that's mainly it. Even if we include Sammy Smith, like this is like 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll include all these guys. If you include Sam Mayer, because I'm sure people will get to him. I'll include Ware, Leland, Perkins. Oops. I'll include, yeah. And this isn't including Williams and SVG. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's like the 17 guys I'd be looking at. You include Williams and SVG, that's the 19, guys that you could realistically have in the pool, and you try and get the best scores out of those guys. That's where I'm at. Are you doing well? Well, since I stopped the, I'm going to play it like my success in NBA and stuff. That was a disaster, like start the season. I was so pissed. I was just pissing money away, 20 max and stuff. So I just went back to like single entry, like 15s, the 40s and 50s, and last 3 showdowns I've cashed for like haven't finished top 5, but we're not min cashing. We're right in between like the 15, like 30, or like 11, probably like 18%, right above like min cashing, which at this point I can't even be upset about after how shitty the fucking season started. But I do like the Thursday night games, like for the Thursday shows, like I'm on with Bobby and Sheets. Like me and Bobby are at least going to be on each Thursday night slate. People want me on the Monday night stuff. We keep getting DMs about that, so I'm sure I'll be there. But I really, really like single entry NFL, and I hate the main slates, man. I don't play main slates at all. I do not. I've had good years and good situations doing that, but I just don't have the bankroll to be doing that nearly as much, especially like beginning of the season. Fuck, are we expecting the Saints to go off every week? We're expecting Arizona to like be the highest scoring guys in the slate. Like, I hate main slate stuff early in the year when we just have nothing going on. So, and I don't really play Sunday night football. It'll depend. But that's where I'm at. And watching the games, I actually haven't watched. I don't think I've watched any Showdown game at all this year. I've listened to them on the radio because I've been on the road. But I don't think I've watched a football game like in the past like 2 weeks, really. Same thing. Like I didn't watch Truck Series race yesterday. I haven't watched I haven't watched Truck Series race yesterday. I haven't watched the Xfinity Series race from last week. I've just been busy with stuff, so I'll probably catch up with that this week. What else? So I can't sports bet in Texas, so I don't even bother looking at odds. I mean, we could take a quick look right fast here. Do we even have this? Also, let's check out Motorsport. Let's just check out. Have they queued yet for wherever the fuck these idiots are? I'm assuming they queued already. I know you asked for the Xfinity, but I'm just gonna look at this really fast just because I haven't even watched anything for F1 this week. Let's see. I mean, I haven't looked at any data. I haven't looked at anything, but I want to see the grid first before I say anything here. Have they not even queued yet? Are they queuing right now? Bro, what is the starting grid for the F1 race? It's terrible. Oh, wait, what is this? That's I don't think we've been queued yet. I'm a dumbass. I mean, just looking at these here, I would probably be throwing money on like Mercedes. If like, I mean, this is just like shits and giggles or whatever, but like 2,800 for both the Mercedes guys, like those are stuff that I'm honestly interested in some form or fashion. But I can't bet in Texas. So, and I'm usually horrific at prop betting. So take that with a grain of salt. We look at these races here. Oh man, Austin Hill. Yeah, probably Austin Hill is I think Austin Hill is like the only fellow that I would have any interest in just by looking at that really fast. Let's see. But yeah, I do believe that's it. I mean, we're chasing the place differential in the teams. We're looking for at least 2 to 3 lap leaders. Like, let me just check these lineups really fast. What are they looking like? Yeah, like I got a lot of lineups that are like Cole Custer, Chandler Smith, and then like Riley Herbst Jr., stuff like that. Yeah, I don't really see anything out of the ordinary. One thing I would do is I'd probably want. Let me think about this. I'll talk about it in like a 20 max setting, but yet again, I'm an idiot, and I didn't even fill the 4. I got like 6 lines so far reserved, so that really sucks. I just lost track of time. But like with my 6, like I'm probably gonna do 2 with just solo leaders, if not 3. Because if I was doing 20, I'd probably want like at least 6 or 7 of my lineups to just have 1 lap leader leaning into the place differential. I do think that's a pretty. I think that's I think that's a move rather that could perform very well today. Is Sammy Smith even popping up in my stuff at like what did I say I have him at? I got Sammy Smith with 39,747. Is he in stuff at that price or at that projection? He's not. If I bump that up, damn, dude, even at that projection, he's in my 31st highest, 32nd, 84th, 89th, 92nd, 145th, 146th, 162nd, 195th, 220. So, I mean, the numbers are saying I should probably have Sammy Smith regardless of whatever my true opinion is. So, because typically the way I view things like this is like if I don't like somebody, but like I mean, Sammy Smith is 83, right? It's much different if he's like 95, not even close to team value, whatever. But with the need to pay up for possibly multiple 10K guys to lead laps, getting Junior, possibly Riley Herbst, like Sammy Smith is much easier to fit in lineups than other drivers. And so what I typically do is, I mean, at this point, I would be, what is it? What am I doing? I just lost track of time. I'd go through and just look at my lineups and sort them by projected points, and then I'm just curious on just raw points where how far up in the top, basically top 100. That's typically what I tend to look at rather, for any sport. How many in the top 100 are Sammy Smith in there? And the fact that Sammy was in quite a few in the top 100 probably indicates to me that I should probably have Sammy Smith regardless of whatever my true opinion is on him. Okay, DeBenedetto and Williams. Yeah, we can yap about these fellows. So, oh boy. Where are you at? Oh, Matt didn't even start. See, I totally forgot he didn't even start the season. All right. Let's look at Matt DiBurrito at these short tracks really fast. 14th at Martinsville, 24th at Iowa, 10th at Loudon. I mean, not the most disgusting thing ever. He is 7K. What do I got him for? I got him at 30.5, finishing around 18th. That's going to be a no for me. And then we look at Williams, who this guy, my God, this guy's a bad influence on the fan base, man. This idiot parks on the fucking front straightaway at Atlanta, and he lands a job off of that stupid shit alone. Look at 12th at Richmond, 10th at Martinsville, 20th at Iowa, 23rd at Loudon. Luckily, it's the same thing each week. I don't know how you can queue dead last every week. I mean, no excuse in these cars to queue outside the top 25 every single race. I am going to lean. Now, I would need the leader to lap him, but I am not going to play DeBenedetto, SVG, or Williams unless like I absolute last guy in. Like I'm even less attracted to him versus Sammy Smith play. But I think Williams is a lap down in this race at some point. I think DeBenedetto's a lap down in this race at some point. I think SVG is a lap down in this race at some point. I really, really want to avoid that at all costs. But that's where those guys are at there. We look at Williams. I mean, I really can't like lean like he's not going to be a lap down or something, Especially, and I'd love actually seeing this for potential of people going lap down is a really fast 5-lap and then just a significant fall off. That's usually a good thing if we're looking for people to fall up through the field or struggle getting through the field. Same thing with Williams. That's where I'm at. But it's Bristol. Anything can happen. But I'm personally not going to be on Williams, DeBenedetto, or SVG at the moment unless I just find the lineup that is just fun or that I fall in line at. Yeah, and Custer and Allgaier. I mean, Custer, Allgaier, and Sammy Smith are the 3 best cars. I think 2 of those guys are optimal. Potential of all 3, but I doubt that. I'd go with 2 for sure. Let's see. I mean, I think that's mainly it. Matthew, I don't play cash, but that's what I would do. I chase 2 lap leaders for sure. Past that, I think we about covered everything. No real reason, like, when we run this many laps, there's no real reason to go through each individual lap. The fact that teams pretty much have a good chance of running multiple runs and we can really see what their cars are. I typically don't really worry about individual laps here. I do at least take note of this. But flat out, like, I think Cole Custer wins this race. That's where I'm at. My favorites of the guys up top would be Cole Custer, Chandler Smith, and Allgaier in that order. Going back to the question that Garrett asked, I mean, long shot to win. I think it'd be Austin Hill, but I don't think that's very likely because there's just so many more favorites, and then 3 guys are going to carry a lot of that equity in terms of race win potential. But that's where I'm at there. Yeah, same to you, Eagles. Best of luck, and yeah, best of luck, guys. Bobby and Sheets will be up at top of the hour, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning to talk the Cup Series. Probably we'll do like 11 Eastern. I think that'd be fine. That's 10 a.m. my time. So I'll see you guys later. Best of luck and bye bye.